Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's Nicolex here. So I thought I would start out by saying that I am wrong. It was not Pennywise, but the character that did come out is honestly still looks amazing. Um, I've seen gameplay of it. I'm planning on playing the PTB later. I'm broke right now, so gotta wait till I get paid, and then I'll buy it on PC and I'll try them out and see. Hopefully, it doesn't end by the time I get paid. So we'll go on from there and see about that. But if you don't know who it is, or where he's from or anything like that, it's Pyramid Head from Silent Hill. Probably one of the scariest killers I've seen. And anyway, I mean, he is an icon. I mean, everything they said is pretty much spot on. Um, very unexpected. When I seen it, it was very unexpected. But yeah, I'll go ahead and play the trailer, and then I'll talk a little bit afterwards about it, and yeah, we'll go on from there. Alright, so there you go. As I said, he looks absolutely sick. I cannot wait to play him, cannot wait till he comes out. He looks great, and I mean, again, whether you feel strongly about the license either way, having a licensed product in Dead by Daylight is always going to be better for the game. Because let's say that you don't like it, but somebody else does, and maybe they didn't even know about the game, but they know about Silent Hill. They're big, cult following of Silent Hill. Now they're probably going to come into our game and say, hey, this looks cool. I want to play it. And boom, we just gained another player from that. So no matter what you think about it either way, a licensed product, no matter what character it is always going to be a good thing. And I'm going to be honest, Dead by Daylight has always done licensed characters pretty well, in a sense of what the character is and what they do. I mean, Leatherface is a little, well, he could use a buff, but I thought I'd go ahead and explain the power, the perks, probably go over the survivor perks as well. But yeah, I'll throw them up on screen. You can read them. You can listen to me read them. Explain what they do. Just whatever. We'll figure it out as we go. But here we go. We'll start. So his power is called Rites of Judgment. Hold the power button to activate, then move forward in any direction to carve a trail into the ground. Survivors who walk or run on the trail will trigger killer instinct and be afflicted with torment. Survivors affected by torment may be sent to the Cage of Atonement while they are in the dying state. So essentially, what you do is you dig your ginormous knife into the ground and carve the fabric of Silent Hill basically into the ground. And if a survivor, you can actually crouch through it. It's a lot like hag traps. You can crouch through it, you'll be fine. But the second you run over it, you're now afflicted with torment. And I haven't really seen that there's a way to undo torment. I think maybe once you get out of the Cage of Atonement, you get out of torment. But I don't know. So he has a special attack called Punishment of the Damned. Press the attack button while Rites of Judgment is active to perform Punishment of the Damned. This unleashes a wave of force, damaging any survivors in its path. So while you're digging your knife into the ground, you'll press probably a secondary button, and it'll shoot this wave of basically the same knife. It's kind of sketchy to me, but basically a wave of the same knife all the way through. Probably about to me it looks like maybe 10 to 15 meters. Maybe a little bit more or less than that, but it is a very narrow gap that they do it in. So you can dodge it pretty easily, actually. I mean, I've seen a lot of people dodge it. But if you can catch people off guard, or kind of like a hunter's hatchet, if you can kind of mind game them into the way that you want them to go, you can get it pretty easily. Okay, special ability, Cage of Atonement. Press the active ability button while standing over a dying survivor suffering from torment to send them to the Cage of Atonement. Survivors in a Cage of Atonement can be sacrificed as if they were on a hook. During the second phase of summoning ritual, they will be forced to complete skill checks to hold off the entity. Being rescued or rescuing another survivor from the Cage of Atonement will remove torment. Okay, so I didn't notice that beforehand, but that is correct. So if you escape from, well, if somebody helps you escape from the Cage of Atonement, you'll lose your torment. But once you walk into, what is it called again? What is it called? I'm missing it. Oh, the Rite of Judgment. Oh, my bad. But once you go through the Rite of Judgment through that trail, you're going to be right back where you were again. In trouble with torment again, and you can go right back to the cage. The one cool thing is that you have to use skill checks to fend off the entity. I feel like that's a lot cooler than the whole button mashing aspect of the hooks in general. I feel like they should get rid of that completely. It's boring to me. It's not super engaging. There's nothing else to do. So yeah, I feel like they should get rid of that altogether. But I think maybe this might be a test for what they could do in the future. And I would honestly like to hit skill checks more often than having to spam my X or A or anything like that. I think that's much more reasonable to hit a skill check rather than to sit here and mash a button. It's not that fun. There's some pretty crazy add-ons. Like I know there's one where when you send somebody to the Cage of Atonement, you see anybody afflicted with torment, you see their auras for 6 seconds. And then I forget what the other one is. But yeah, overall he looks pretty damn good. I'm not gonna lie, he looks really, really good. The map is the elementary school. It looks wicked. It looks wicked cool. That's probably one of the best maps aesthetically. Probably one of the best maps I've seen. And the layout of it was very strange. I mean, there's just a lot of holes going up. There's a lot of just weird stuff going around. Yeah, it is super wicked, but yeah, it's really cool. So like I said, it comes with 3 unique perks like every other killer that comes out. Forced penance. Those who stand in the way of duty will suffer harsh judgment. Survivors who take a protection hit are inflicted with the broken status effect for 20, 25, and 30 seconds. To be honest, I feel like the time is a little... I feel like it's too little to actually have a huge impact. However, think about using that with like a basement build with like Mad Grit, Iron Grasp, Agitation, and then Forced Penance. Wow, that's going to be insane, because like you could do so much damage with that. You could hit somebody and then they're broken. Anybody else who comes in contact with that, they get broken as well. And I mean, it could work out pretty well, because once you hook that person, there's possibly 2 to 3 people with, and this is assuming it's Survive with Friends, best case scenario. You could have 2 to 3 people with a broken status effect. That's really, really good. Trail of Torment. You guide your victims along a path of pain and punishment. After kicking a generator, you become undetectable for 15 seconds. During this time, the generator's aura is revealed in yellow to all survivors. Trail of Torment can only be triggered once every 120, 180 seconds. To be honest, that second part of the perk should just be gone. It defeats the whole purpose of going undetectable. I feel like anytime you go undetectable, there shouldn't be any indication to the survivor that you went undetectable. That doesn't make sense. It just, that perk, if you take out that second part, it could be a really good perk. It could be really, really good. It could be really niche. But where it's at now with it showing what generator you kicked. I mean, think about it. I mean, if somebody uses alert, they already know where you're at. So that is kind of pointless right there anyway. They're going to see you anyway. So it doesn't matter whether you're undetectable or not, in all honesty. I don't know. I think that's dumb to me, but, whatever. And Deathbound. This one's a long one. Okay. Those whose lives are intertwined in darkness and destined to suffer together. When a survivor heals another survivor for one health state, at least 32 meters away from the killer, the survivor performing the healing action will scream, revealing their location and activating Deathbound for the next 45 seconds. During that time, the survivor will suffer from the Oblivious status effect when farther than 16, 12, and 8 meters away from the healed survivor. Again, this is good, but it also has some downsides to it, like in the aspect that you do heal somebody, or somebody gets healed 32 meters away from you. They'll scream, you know their location, and for the next 45 seconds, I believe, yeah, they have the Oblivious status effect, so they're not going to hear the heartbeat or anything like that. And I'm confused. During that time, the survivor will suffer from the Oblivious status effect when farther than... See, so, again, I don't know. It doesn't make sense. So, essentially, here's the thing. Let's say you're 32 meters away from somebody who's healing somebody. They heal them up fully, they scream. Boom. It is now activated, but the only thing that's actually activated at that time of them screaming is the notification for you to go and check on them. That's it. So once you go over there, if they haven't moved 16, 12, or 8 meters away from the other survivor, they're not going to have the Oblivious status effect. So it's kind of pointless. But more than likely, they probably will move. I don't know many survivors who stick together after being healed. That's kind of weird. But, it could work. It could work. It could be all right. But I don't know. I guess we'll see. And now I'll go ahead and go over the female perk. Pretty much every survivor is just a copy of the very first survivor to come out. There's nothing really different about them except their perks and their aesthetics. That's really it. So let's just go ahead and just talk about it. So her first perk is Soul Guard. You have been through immense hardship and you're stronger for it. Gain the endurance status effect for 4, 6, 8 seconds after being healed or having recovered from the dying state. While affected by the cursed status effect, you can fully recover from the dying state. Huh. That's a very strange perk of just everything that it can do, but really cool. I'm not going to lie. That's really, really cool. So think about it. When you have Unbreakable, if the killer's right on top of you, even No Mither, actually, yeah, you pair that with No Mither, that's going to be pretty cool. And yeah, I don't think there's a cooldown for it or one-time use. It looks like you can use that as much as you want. So that with No Mither, that's going to be pretty damn good, in all honesty, because you can get up as many times as you want. You're going to take an endurance hit, and you can run them around a little bit longer. So that could be pretty good, actually. And then the whole thing with you being cursed, if you are cursed, for instance, if there's Hex, Ruin, Huntress Lullaby, anything Hex, pretty much, you can get up from the dying state anyway, so you don't need Unbreakable or No Mither if they have a Hex perk. But again, you're not going to know that, so... but it is cool, in the chance that they do have something like that, that's cool. Blood Pact. It's as if a latent part of yourself has awakened. You feel like you can reach out beyond yourself for assistance. When you or the Obsession are injured, you both see each other's auras. After healing the Obsession or being healed by the Obsession, you both gain the haste status effect for 4, 6, and 8 seconds. Reduce the odds of being the Obsession. If you are the Obsession, Blood Pact deactivates. Wow. Okay. Oh, that's kind of rough. That's kind of rough. Okay. Okay. I don't know how I feel about that. The fact that if you are the obsession while using this perk, you just wasted a perk slot, which doesn't really make sense to me. Doesn't really make sense to me. Although maybe that's only in the chance that you are like using Decisive Strike and you use it and then you become the obsession. That makes sense. That's doable. But if just right out the gate, that's kind of sketchy. Repressed Alliance. You're accustomed to being hunted by malicious forces, and you've begun using it to your advantage. Repressed Alliance activated after repairing generators for a total of 60, 70, and 80 seconds. While repairing a generator while Repressed Alliance is active, press the active ability button to call upon the entity to block the generator for 30 seconds. After which Repressed Alliance deactivates. Affected generators will be revealed to all survivors by a white aura. I want to be honest, I don't understand why this perk was made. Other than to counter pop, but I don't get why you as a survivor would want to use that. I don't feel like that's very useful at all. I mean, I'm not gonna. If I see, for instance, let's say I see the clown coming. Pause. So let's say you see the clown coming towards you while you're on a gen. I don't see the point of you using that to stop him from downing you and using pop. It's just a weird perk. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to use that. In fact, that's probably even better because I think that's a perk that's better for the killer, in all honesty. I would want you to block the gen so nobody else can work on it. That's fantastic. Thank you very much for that. I mean, I don't know. That's just me. But yeah, so that's basically the new chapter in a nutshell. Hopefully I'll be able to play a little bit of the PTB later in the week. And I have 2 days off, Monday and Tuesday next week. Hopefully the PTB is still on by then. It should be. And I can get some games going with Pyramid Head. I'll play a little bit of Cheryl. God, that name is going to be amazing from now on. Cheryl. And, well, test some games out and see. There was a lot of stuff in here too as well. They're going to be updating the graphics very soon, which, by the way, if you haven't seen the live stream, those pictures look absolutely phenomenal. I mean, it looks really, really good for the new graphics. New matchmaking system coming out soon. That's about it. Oh, mobile, from what I was understanding from what they were saying, is each month they're going to try to put out something fresh and new, which is fantastic. That's something that I think that more games should try to do in general. Every month or on a monthly basis, include something or fix something so that people can have something to keep them, going on the game. And yeah, I'll post some DVD mobile videos earlier, like a little bit before I post this one. Yeah, I ain't gonna be getting any sleep tonight. But yeah, yeah, that seems good. So I think one time it'll be content like maps, killers, survivors, all that good stuff, and then the next month I think they were saying like quality of life, bug fixes, stuff like that to just keep the game thriving, keep it going. And yeah, with that being said, guys, that's all I got for you today. I plan on having more later on. Yeah, that's all I got. If you guys enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. And as always, there'll be more on the way. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.